Yeah. Karate chop. Judo chop. Chop, 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 chop. We're downgrading from the weapons, i.e. pistols, and we're going to karate chops, judo chops. Sometimes you got to give them it. Yeah. Welcome to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 66. Dude, that's 3 episodes from 69. Oh, boy. Today we are doing waiver wire. We're doing NFL Week 8 starts and sits. These are people we love and people we are fading going into this week. We're obviously going to talk about kind of these middle tier flex plays that you might be questioning. Should I play this guy this week? I'm kind of in a pinch. We'll let you know if we love them in their matchup this week or if we're fading them. A little start sit action for you boys. Like always, I'm here. My name is Michael Marquinhos. I'm here with my boy Tyler Revelis and Kyler Navarro. Andre Navarro.
Or Tyler and Kyler. Tyler doesn't know about that.
He told me not to do that, but I did it anyways. We got Andre Navarro on the right. We're giving you all the things you need to know. Before we start the episode, though, I just want to let you know that we have a little thing called a table of contents in the description. These episodes get kind of long sometimes. We try and keep them around an hour, but if you don't have time for the entire episode, go check that table of contents. I have timestamps of every guy that we talk about when we talk about them. That it's just an easy tool to navigate through the episode, so that way you don't have to waste all your time listening to us talk about guys that you don't even have on your fantasy team. So I get it. All right. And if we don't mention any of these guys that you have on your fantasy team, go ahead and reach out to us on Instagram or Twitter. All these different social media apps are down below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast YouTube page. Subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app. Leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app. That really helps us out. And if you're already subscribed to us on the Apple Podcast app, go ahead and just unsubscribe and then subscribe back again. It's a weird thing, but it actually works in the algorithm. I don't understand it, but I mean, I understand that it's a thing now, but I don't understand why. I feel like they're going to fix this loophole at one point. So before that happens, go ahead and help us out that way. Yeah. Let's do it. Huh, boys? All right. Let's move.
First thing before we start, I was going to say, me and Dre, we're playing this week, and it's only week 8, but it's an elimination game. You know what? And just this is kind of mine and Dre's season summed up in our boys' league. We've both been battling injuries. I feel like both of our teams are better than our record, but this is kind of if I could pick one drop to summarize our season.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
It's not the full one.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, I just want to win the game.
That's it.
I'm just trying to win a game. Sorry.
Yeah,
I have the full one.
We're in the toilet bowl.
Yeah,
see.
It is offensive. Hey, you going to make the playoffs?
Made the best.
Listen, dude,
win.
I'm just trying to win a game. Yeah, that's rough, dude.
If I don't,
You know what? I'm actually
this was a week.
the worst league I'm in.
I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a great.
Hey, I don't know. I just had to throw that out there.
Who is that? Is it Colts?
Yeah,
Jim Mora.
Jim Mora.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I think. Did he pass away? Did that? I think he did. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he had a stroke. All right. Well, so when we go through these starts, sits, we always go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. So we'll start on the quarterback position. Bam. We got Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh.
Oh, it's Tannehill time. Yeah, so like Mike said, these are kind of just some guys that we like, and then maybe some guys that we're fading, or the matchup is tough. So kind of just limit your expectations for those players. Obviously, we're not going to go over every player. You're going to start your studs. The guys that are no brainers. You're starting them each and every single week. So these are guys that are kind of like Mike said, like on the fringe, flex guys, wide receiver 2, running back 2s, etc. And like you said, if you do have any questions, hit us up. We're going to be doing the last minute lineup live stream.
Thank you.
Sunday morning. We didn't do it last week. Yep. Mike was out of town, and then a couple weeks ago we had some technical difficulties with the internet. The internet went down over by where we live, so we'll be back this Sunday for that. But yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Tannehill right here. This is my guy. You're definitely starting Tannehill this week. Me playing against the Bengals. So just looking at some numbers here for Tannehill, he's now completed 16 games as the starter for the Tennessee Titans. So if you were to slate it out in those full 16 games and kind of just run it over to like a full 16 game season, he would have thrown for 4,188 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and then he adds 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground as well. So my boy Tannehill has just been balling. I mean, he's got a safe floor, 19 or more points in 12 of the 16 games that he started for the Tennessee Titans. So yeah, I do like me some Ryan Tannehill this week against the Bengals.
I also like that based on some of my other starts this week. Just saying.
Yeah, you're starting him against me, right?
I am starting him against you.
Fuck
so
him then.
Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
him then.
You don't.
I just hope we can win a game.
I hope he gets you. I hope he gets you 19. 19. I hope he gets you 19.
You put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
All right.
Just enough. Just 19.
So
cash.
that's gonna be Tyler's start for quarterback position. We'll move on to Dre's start. We got Joe Donkey. Joe Cigar.
Who I'm also playing against you, Tyler. Yeah. So I'm actually starting him in 2 leagues. I mean, nothing too crazy. I mean, you can see he's getting better and better. He was second in the NFL in passing yards going into the game. I saw this morning he's 4th now because Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Ryan played. So going into this week, he was second behind I forgot who it was. I think it was Deshaun Watson. I think that's who it was. But still, second as a rookie is good. For the season, he drops back 41.8 times a game. If you take away the first 2 games, I remember against the Browns, he dropped back like 60 times. So if you take the first 2 games away, he's still averaging 38 dropbacks per game, which I'll take. This should be a shootout. That's why I'm hoping it's like more Derrick Henry, but I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. Over-under is 52.5, and he's coming off a really good game.
High.
Yeah, right. 4 touchdowns, one through the ground, 1 pick, threw for 400 yards. I mean, if he does that, I'm good, but I don't think he's going to do that. I have him for like 300 yards and 3 tugs, though.
Stole my start from last week.
Sorry, dude.
It's okay.
Hey, number one pick in the NFL draft. He's looking good. So, and like you said, that Bengals defense, we kind of predicted it coming into the year. They're going to be so bad that Joe Donkey's going to have to be slanging that thing.
Yeah, and no mixing again, so maybe they'll just keep passing it around.
Yeah. But Gio's going to start again, so
he does good for
capable pass catcher out of the backfield. He actually had the little swing pass for the late lead on the touchdown against the Browns.
By the way, did you know that I think it's the last 8 first-round picks the Bengals have had, the next pick after them has been like All-Pro or something like that? Or
Damn. It's like good luck, Chuck. You want to be right after the Bengals.
And Chase Young was after Joe Burrow, so interesting. We'll go on to my start for this week. I got Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Guess who Carson Wentz is playing? I'll make this simple for you guys.
The Cowboys.
They're playing the
Dallas Blair Boys.
The Dallas Blair Boys. The Cowboys only have 1 interception on the year.
He doesn't even know who it is.
Do you know that?
Great.
The Cowboys have only 1 interception on the year.
Damn.
They've
That's pretty bad.
they've allowed 15 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. They're allowing 20 points per game, 20 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks, which doesn't seem like 20 doesn't seem that, but that's an average, and the highest is 26 points per game. So it's the 6th most points to quarterbacks fantasy wise in the league. So that team is just disgruntled. I'm excited to play Carson Wentz in a league against the Cowboys. Light it up. That's it.
And like you said, the Cowboys haven't covered a spread all year.
Oh yeah, the Cowboys are 0 and something. What is it? 0 and 7.
Yeah.
Covering the spread.
Bums.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, I like it. And Wentz has been rushing too. I think he's got 5 rushing touchdowns
5
on the
rushing
season
touchdowns.
now, which is second only behind Kyler Murray. So he's got more rushing touchdowns than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, the Eagles have been hurting from injuries, but I mean,
they're getting Jalen Reagor back, their rookie first-round pick. So that's obviously just going to help boost the offense a little bit. But just a guy who can really stretch the field for them.
Truly.
And they activated Goddard or whatever off the.
He's coming off the high.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to play because they got to bye next week, so it could be one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
He was eligible to practice. Now he's got like 21 days until they have to make another decision on him or something like that. So I would assume they're probably going to hold him out, like you said, because they have a bye week next week.
Miles Sanders wasn't a pussy, but anyway.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is a little fucking burger bitch boy, dude.
Can't even eat a double cheeseburger.
Yeah, he can't even eat a little cheeseburger.
Cook a motherfucking damn ham a fucking sandwich.
Sorry, you guys are talking about cheeseburgers. So
I love how he says a fucking sandwich.
All right, we can move on to our fades and or sits for the week. For quarterback position, we'll start with Tyler's. We got Matthew Stafford. He's sitting on this week. I'm playing Matthew Stafford in a league. It's a very weird league where you can't just add players. So I'm kind of in a pinch. Tell me why I should kill myself.
That's easy, dude. Because you have to start Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. That's it.
yeah, Stafford was my start last week. It kind of bails you out at the end. Thank God Gurley scored, because if not, he doesn't get you. I think he got you like an extra 70 yards to the air, and then he throws the game-winning touchdown. But prior to that, he was not doing much. I mean, he finishes with 340 yards and the touchdown, but only one touchdown against a bad Falcons defense. That kind of worries me. So now on the flip side, he only put up 18 points last week. On the flip side, he goes from playing the worst defense against quarterbacks, so that the defense that just gives it up like Blair, to now one of the stingiest, if not the stingiest defense against quarterbacks. He goes against the Indianapolis Colts. They've allowed the second fewest passing yards per game. They're only allowing around 200 passing yards per game. They allow the fifth lowest completion percentage allowed to quarterbacks. They're coming off a bye, the Colts are, so they've had an extra week to prepare for the Lions. And in 4 games this season, the Colts have allowed 1 or 0 passing touchdowns. You don't like seeing that. If Stafford could barely get you 1 passing touchdown against the Falcons, I'm going to assume he only gets you at least 1 against a stingy Colts defense.
To Galladay.
It's weird. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's weird because we just watched on Thursday night Teddy Bridgewater like struggled against the Falcons.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like Falcons, if you look at the numbers, it doesn't make any sense. But then the fantasy-wise, these quarterbacks, it seems like they can't put up points.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony touched on it. He was saying how, once they fired Dan Quinn, it has kind of switched over a little bit. They've been playing a little bit better defense. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be it as well. But just something to monitor. But, yeah, just a tough matchup for Stafford, so I'd be fading him if I can this week.
Interesting. We'll go on to Kyler's sit for the week. We got Drew Brees. Why are you sitting
I mean, they're playing the Bears. He has no Thomas, no Sanders, and even Marquez Callaway, who he kind of, was his highest targeted receiver. I don't think he's playing either. So they really have Kamara, Tre'Quan Smith. It's like it's probably going to be a heavy Kamara game. Not saying Drew Brees isn't going to have a good football game, but I feel like there's just better options when it comes to fantasy quarterbacks this week. I mean, he really has. I mean, he's got Jared Cook. Like I said, and it's the Bears on top of that. So it's more, it's not him. It's really who they're playing. He doesn't really have just many options. That's what it comes down to.
By the way, 20-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, there you go.
In Chicago.
The windy city.
So, yeah, I see it being a Kamara game where he just gets 25 touches and hopefully hella yards.
Yeah. Drew Brees' first game out of the dome.
So
he's played in a dome every week so far.
Has he really?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's hashtag not good.
So that's why we'll see what happens.
I like it. Drew Brees is also dead to me. I believe you.
All right.
Love it. Kyler, you're just coming in here and talking all this business. We'll move on to my sit for quarterback this week. I got Jared Goff. Everybody knows I don't like this guy.
As a person.
I mean, he actually is a good guy. Terrible at golf. Great guy, though. Best man at my wedding. He's playing the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins defense, your guys' secondary is actually like really good.
Yeah.
You guys are only
Keep sleeping on them.
Yeah, truly. I mean, dude, if I could have your corners in a room alone for a small amount of time, I would tell them to play for Pittsburgh.
And then walk out.
And then maybe, something else.
Play Where's My Tummy Stick. Find the Tummy Stick.
Turn the lights off. Play Guess Who's in My Mouth. No, the Miami Dolphins are only allowing 16.
Dolphins.
The Dolphins are only allowing 16.8 points per game to quarterbacks, fantasy-wise. I don't know. You guys remember a lot of people streamed Gardner Minshew against the Dolphins because everybody's like, oh, let's play Gardner against the Dolphins. He put up like 9 points that game. So I could see this exact scenario happening again. Only allowed 7 touchdowns passings, 7 passing touchdowns. Jesus, your guys' corners are really good. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased because I am a Dolphins fan, but I mean, Xavier Howard he leads the league in interceptions with 4, I think it is. They're paying him like 14, 15 million. Then we signed Byron Jones from the Cowboys. They're paying him like 15 million. So yeah, we have some pretty elite corners out there. And then you got to think as well, it's a short week, because the Rams played on Monday night. They're traveling to Miami, so they're losing that 3 hours. It's hot in Miami. It's humid. They're not used to playing that. And the way the Dolphins stadium is set up is they have like shade on the Dolphins side, and then the heat is like funneled to the opposing team side to make it hot for them. Obviously, it's called fucking strategy, coach. But, and then the Dolphins are coming off a bye, which they've had extra time to prepare. So yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think people are sleeping on the Dolphins defense. My brother actually sent me something on Instagram the other day, but it's the defenses who have given up the least amount of points, and it was the Ravens, and then the second least amount of points given up was the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, that kind of gets swinged because they gave up 0 points against the Jets, but for what it's worth, yeah, they're giving up the second fewest total points to opposing offenses.
Dre sent me something on Instagram the other day, and it was a fat pooper. All right,
speaking of what he's looking at right now.
And I said,
hello.
And I said, start that. Don't fade that.
Don't fade that. Love it.
Go face first.
All right, we'll move on to the running backs here. We're gonna start with the guys we're telling you to start this week. We got Myles Gaskin. This is guess who's?
I'm guessing it's got to be yours.
The guy with the Dan Marino jersey behind him. Listen, you're living in the past, kid. 2022 though. They're winning. All right,
yeah, Myles Gaskin. He could be one of the best waiver wire pickups because he wasn't getting drafted. Everyone thought it was going to be Jordan Howard. It was going to be Matt Breida, a little bit of Thunder, a little bit of lightning.
I mean, you thought
Myles
it was
Gaskin,
going to be Jordan Howard.
Was kind of unheard of. Most people don't even know who he was. But I mean, Myles Gaskin is playing really well. He's played 63% of the snaps in every single game of the season, so he is the workhorse running back right there. Jordan Howard's actually been inactive the last couple games. That was kind of the knock on Gaskin at first. He was getting all this work in the receiving and in the rushing game, but then when they got to the 1 yard line, Jordan Howard would just vulture a 1 yard touchdown. But the last couple games, he's been inactive, so finally Gaskin has been able to get some goal line carries as well. But I mean, he's got a safe floor, especially in PPR. He's had 10 or more points in 5 of the 6 games. He's getting you like 4 to 5 receptions per game. So you like seeing that because it gets you like that, not only the rushing yards, but the total scrimmage yards with the receiving yards as well. And the Rams have allowed the 10th most receptions to running backs and the 8th most receiving yards to running backs. So, yeah, I do like me some Myles Gaskin. Killed the Rams, whacked them.
Myles Gaskin. I like it. We'll move on to Andre Navarro's running back start of the week. He's got Boston Scott.
No, I don't.
You don't? You changed it?
I never. What? I never had Boston Scott.
Did you have Boston Scott, Mike?
Oh, no, you had Boston Scott, Tyler.
Nope, I did not.
You wrote it down. You wrote it in here.
It was in the text messages. Anyways, here's the point. You're starting Boston Scott because Miles Sanders is not.
You sent that to me.
Yeah, because Boston Scott's
loved Boston Scott.
But anyways,
sandwich.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is not playing, so you're dialing up Boston Scott again. I know he kind of
saved
the day with the late touchdown last week, but playing against the Dallas Cowboys, then like I said, we'll joke around and say they just give it up. So you're definitely starting Boston Scott.
We need a better system, dude. Because you guys, someone texted me.
It's okay,
it's
bro.
all right. We just talked about him. It's hey,
you're just dialing up Boston Scott.
Dial him up. He's 5'6".
Who was your guy? Who was your running back, Tyler?
James White.
No, that's who you. Yeah,
that's mine.
That was
all right. Then mine's Boston Scott.
Dude, you're good, bro. We just held it down like crabs in a bucket.
Next. All right. The whole point of this is to tell people who to start, who to sit. You're starting Boston Scott.
Yeah. You know what? You know what my problem is? You two.
YouTube, right. Yeah, YouTube does piss me off.
No. All right, let's go to the next start. Okay, whose is this one? This one's okay.
That's Andre's.
Andre's start is DeAndre Swift.
My guy. Man, I should have taken over Cam Akers, but whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's all good. No,
should have took CeeDee Lamb.
And not. I mean, Yeah, probably.
Anybody else then?
Yeah.
Cam Akers.
No, so his snap percentage the last 3 weeks has gone up incrementally. He went from 37 to 38 to 46. But over the last 3 weeks, he has 4 touchdowns, averaging 17.2 half-point PPR points per game. He's got 9 targets, 7 catches. I mean, it's not a crazy amount, but he is getting more and more integrated into the offense. He's going to get more touches, higher snap percentage. So, I mean, that's basically why. He's turning into, AP will still get his, 8-9 touches. But I feel like little by little, DeAndre Swift is just taking over, and he's doing his thing. And that is why I like him. He's just little by little taking that job. And he looks good, too, though. He's starting to get up to speed with everything, pass protection, everything. He's the preseason he definitely could have used, but I mean, fuck it. We're here and he's doing his thing. So.
It's hard for me to like a Lions running back, and that's kind of why I was targeting a Rams one.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like DeAndre Swift. Like I say, slowly kind of coming on, and I think people kind of forgotten how good he was. And I mean, if he was to have gone to the Colts, or if he was to have gone to the Chiefs, everyone, he would be like,
It'd be over.
He would be the hotness. He'd be the Hansel. So hot. But obviously, he's there. The Lions offense, is middle of the pack, I guess you could say. And then you still got AP who's there, who's still getting around 10, 11 touches a game, and then taking some goal line work. But yeah, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, it's nice to see them kind of finally utilizing him. I mean, you got to put your best playmakers on the field if you want to try and win these games. So, but sure. Like me some DeAndre Swift too. He'd be a nice buy low candidate potentially because he's only had a couple good games. So people might be thinking like, okay, let me try to sell him now on a high note. But it's like, okay, I'd be willing to go get him if I can.
Would you trade Allen Robinson for DeAndre Swift?
Nah, because Allen Robinson's he's gonna be top 5 in targets probably again.
Not if he keeps bumping his little head.
That little bitch.
he got hit right in the noggin.
Yeah, pussy.
Okay, guys, I apologize. I wrote Boston Scott down. He wrote it on the paper. I changed it.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
What had happened is Andre, we had a miscommunication.
Got a good brain.
I don't think I ever typed in the word Boston.
No,
Scott,
or
Boston.
This is the problem was we took the same fades and loves, and so when I did mine, I assumed it was out of the 4.
You got discombobulated.
We got the same the same 3, but I assumed all 4 were the same. So I was I got to change all of mine.
You're back there doing 100 things at once. You know what I'm saying? We're just here looking pretty, throwing out some stats and some numbers.
But honestly, though,
you're over there doing all the heavy lifting.
Honestly, though, you boys come in here looking cute. Okay, baby?
Are you talking about Tyler and Kyler?
Yeah, Tyler and Kyler come in here hot. Okay? They got the hot stats, the hot mohawks. Anyways, all right, we'll go on to Andre's next start here. We got Le'Veon Bell. I got the Steelers highlights for me.
All right,
me to watch.
What's the first thing I wrote down without looking? What do you think the first thing I wrote down is?
They're playing the Jets.
Oh, playing the Jets, capital letters. I even wrote it in green so I didn't forget. Literally, playing the Jets.
Is that jet green?
It's jet green. It's Gase green. So the funniest stat I saw, and I noticed it his first run, so I'm sure you guys have heard it. He only had 1 carry of 16-plus yards on the Jets in a year and a half. He had 2 of those already with the Chiefs in however many, 6 carries? He had 2 of 16-plus yards already. So he's already doing better. But he's on he actually looks good in an offense, unlike the shitty-ass Jets. Shit, yep, that's pretty much it.
I mean, I think
it's a revenge game. I mean,
dude,
I would assume the line Vegas has it at -19, -20. So you're expecting the Chiefs to be up a ton, and maybe in the second half. Maybe in the second half, you're really relying on the ground game. I would assume a heavy dose of Le'Veon Bell in the second half. Even in the first half, he's not putting up some crazy numbers. I would assume 10, 12, 15 carries in the second half for Le'Veon Bell to really just stick it to Gase.
Yeah, it's a definite revenge game. The Jets they're
really bad.
They're really bad, but they actually hit the under a lot of times. I mean, they played pretty stout against the Bills actually, but
their run defense is better than.
But I think
given credit.
I think that Le'Veon Bell didn't really. I don't think he even had a target last week. I know he didn't have any receptions, but So I lost that beer bet. Whoops.
Still learning the offense, though. I mean, he just got there a week ago.
Yeah.
He looked good, though.
He looked good, and I think that, like you're saying, revenge game, they're going to get back at and go down Gase's throat. Gase is going to be looking over at the fucking scoreboard like this because Le'Veon Bell's going to score twice. I'm starting him in the league. Fucking love it.
I would, it's probably not the craziest call, but I would say that I think he outscores CEH this week just because I think they do feed him a lot. And, I mean, if I'm Le'Veon Bell, I want to show Adam Gase and the Jets like, hey, look what you had. And you took me for granted, and you fucked up not utilizing me. So now I'm just gonna.
Yeah, he's basically.
I'm gonna run all over you now.
I'm gonna fart in your mouth.
He's basically going back into his ex-girlfriend's workplace, looking with like the revenge body, with like 5 bad bitches.
That's horny. That's super.
All
horny.
of them not flat bootied.
That's what I like to see.
All of them double cheeked up on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, just looking ready.
Double cheeked it.
Nothing but higher, nothing lower than a super pooper 10,000.
Yeah, start Le'Veon Bell. Let's go, Jamycal Hasty. So, am I crazy for this? Okay, so this is I'm saying Jamycal Hasty. I'm gonna put a / and say Jerick McKinnon as well.
Hey, remember we talked? Hey,
Dynasty. By the way, so Seattle. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. It's 54-point over/under. I think it goes way over. I think the Niners. I think it's going to be a close game, but the Niners, they're running team. You know what I mean? And I think what you got everybody, Raheem Mostert, anyone under the sun that's not Jamycal Hasty and Jerick McKinnon is basically hurt. You did have Tevin Coleman practicing, but I don't think that he comes back this week. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he's going to end up playing this week. So I think it's Jamycal Hasty. He's actually been practicing. They're about to take him off. They have till tomorrow to take him off the IR.
I'm all about it. He's the man.
You're the Niner fan, Dre. So who would you predict to play here? Because you got, like you said, you got Jamycal Hasty. Tevin Coleman might come back. They said he's looked really good in practice. And then you got McKinnon, who I was reading a report saying he didn't play that much last week because he's dealing with tired legs, is what the quote was. He's tired. Yeah, he's fatigued.
Absolutely
what he said.
Insane.
So what do you think as a Niners fan? Who would be the guy you would pick to start if you had to pick one of these guys? Because like Anthony said last episode, one of these guys is going to hit. Whether it's Jeff Wilson, Jr., it's Mostert when he's
Jeff
in,
is out,
McKinnon when he's getting the workload. It's whoever gets the workload seems to be productive in this offense. But who do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be him. He looked good when he gets the rock. Keeps his feet moving. His cuts are nasty. I like him. I think it's going to be him. He's got the freshest legs. And he hasn't been injured yet, and he hasn't shown any reason to not use him. So, I mean, I'm sure if they go up, they're going to run the ball down your throat anyway. I mean, they don't really, unless he's throwing it to Kittle, especially with no Aiyuk or with no Debo, they just run end around after a play that looks like an end around. So, I mean, I can see them both getting the rock, but I feel like he's going to start, and if he's a hot hand, I feel like he's just going to keep rolling with it. But I would say more Jamycal Hasty.
And I think a lot of people picked up Jamycal Hasty this week too.
Man, I tried to get him last week, but somebody already got him.
All right, we'll go on to this is. I thought this was mine, but now this is Tyler's. Go ahead.
This is your guys's, bro.
Go with James White.
Yeah, so James White is my guy. I know he did not have a good game last week against the Niners, and what you thought would probably be a good game script because they were losing the whole game and playing catch up, and James White obviously the pass catching running back for the Patriots, but he only played 19% of the snaps. That's why he didn't put up any production or catches. But I do like James White this week. They're playing against the Bills in Buffalo, and I'm expecting the Bills to be up ahead and the Patriots chasing again. But the Patriots are down 2 pass catchers, maybe even more. But yeah, Julian Edelman, he had a precautionary knee surgery, so he's out. He probably should be on your waiver wire because Edelman hasn't been doing anything outside of that Seattle game. And then N'Keal Harry, their first-round pick a couple years ago, he's out as well. So down N'Keal Harry, down Julian Edelman. I'm expecting James White to be utilized out of the backfield a ton in this one. He's had 2 games where he's had 7 and 8 receptions, and he played 50% or more of snaps in those games. In the games that he didn't produce, he played 30% or less of the snaps. So it's just a matter of, is my guy going to be on the field? And I'm just expecting, like I said, with these lack of passing options and passing weapons that the Patriots are going to have, I'm expecting James White to be on the field a ton. So, yeah, I do like James White this week.
Also, it's 50 degrees and storm showers in Buffalo. No, you good. So, yeah, that helps out with the running game as well. You know what I'm saying, boy? We'll go on to our sits here, I think, unless we're missing one. Yeah, we'll move on to the sits. We got Tyler's sit here. He's got the Giants running backs. I had Devonta Freeman on YouTube's template here. You're sitting Giants running backs.
Yeah, this will just be quick and easy. I mean, like I said, you have Devonta Freeman there. I don't even know if he's going to play because he's got the ankle injury, but we saw Wayne Gallman step in and kind of take over. So people might be thinking like, oh, let me just go get Wayne Gallman and I'll start him. But if I could, I would not be playing any of these Giants running backs. Their offensive line is really bad, and they're down another offensive lineman. Their starting guard, Will Hernandez, he tested positive for COVID, so he's going to be missing the game. And then it's not a good matchup. The Bucs front seven is one of the best in the NFL, and the Bucs are allowing a league low 66 rushing yards per game and a league low 3-point yards per carry. So this is just ugly for these guys. I would not be starting any Giants running back.
Very nice. How much?
$5.
$5. We'll go on to your next one here. Oh, yeah. Jesus. We'll go on to your next one here. We got the Broncos running backs.
Yeah.
Who's this one?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think like
we
they
got
said,
Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay.
Yeah, Denver fucking sucks, dude. Remember?
Is this
like
more based on if Lindsay doesn't play or if he does play, or it just doesn't matter?
I mean, I feel like they're just gonna get smacked. That's what I think. I think the Chargers are gonna smack them. They are giving up 85.5 yards per game to running backs this season, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't like the matchup for them this week. I feel like they can just concentrate on the run and let them beat them through the pass. They don't really have anybody. I think they're going to get smacked. I think game script is going to take him out of the game, especially and if Lindsay does play that, I feel like that's not going to help him at all either. I feel like they'll cut into each other's, but I just think the Chargers are going to smack them, especially they're facing Melvin Gordon, their old teammate. And he's fumbled the ball 3 times and he's lost all 3 fumbles. So, I mean, let him fumble one more. Let him just fumble the fucking ball and he's out for the game. He only played last game. He was in the doghouse. He fumbled and lost it. And the only reason he played again was because Phillip Lindsay got hurt because he wasn't going to play the rest of last game either. So, I just don't like this matchup for him. And that's why I think they're going to get smacked.
Yeah, one thing I could say is see if Phillip Lindsay's on your waiver wire. Because I was, after the waivers went through, someone dropped Phillip Lindsay to grab somebody, and I went and scooped him up. I mean, I know Phillip Lindsay hasn't done anything crazy. I think he had the one game when Melvin Gordon sat out. They said he was sick, but I think it was kind of that he got the DUI. But he had over 100 yards, and even last week, I think he had like 7 or 9 carries for like 79 yards. So he's looked good. And like I said, if Melvin Gordon, continues to fumble, he's going to be in the doghouse. And Phillip Lindsay's coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. So he's a really good running back. And so if he's on your waiver wire for whatever reason, maybe someone gave up on him and they dumped him, I'm definitely going out and grabbing Phillip Lindsay and at least having him on my team.
Yeah, he had 8 yards per carry before he got hurt last week, so he was doing his thing. He is for sure on his way to 100 yards. I mean, easy. But no.
Oh, by the way, I picked up Tevin Coleman in the league because he's on IR technically still. If he's still available, I would go pick him up. And if you have an extra IR spot, you can just throw him there.
Oh, Shafo.
It's kind of a nice little sneaky play there for you.
That's a little treat, huh?
Yeah. So we'll go on to the next one here. We got Devin Singletary. This is Tyler's guy here. He's telling you, don't play Devin Singletary.
Don't fucking do it.
Even though it's raining out.
Yeah, this was kind of one of the guys I feel like maybe we missed on, or I don't even want to know if it's missed, but he just, the addition of Zach Moss has kind of been eaten into it, and then Josh Allen, snaking some touchdowns. And even when they get close, they tend to throw the ball a lot when they get close to the goal line. But he should change his name to Devin Single Points because he's at he's had 10 or more touches in his last 3 games, and he's had under 7 PPR points in all 3 of those games. And this is full point PPR. He's getting me 10 plus touches, and my guy can't even get me 7 PPR points. So, I mean, I do expect them to be smacking the Patriots, but I mean, like I said, it's Josh Allen. It's they're throwing the ball a ton, and even when they're getting close, it's Zach Moss. So, I mean, the 2 games that Singletary did do well is games without Zach Moss. He had 16 and 18 PPR points in those games, but he was getting like a full workload those games. This is pretty much a real running back by committee here where they're splitting it 50-50. And then prior to last week, the Patriots, they only gave up 1 rushing touchdown in their first 5 games. They gave up 4 last week to Jeff Wilson Jr. and the San Francisco 49ers. But the Patriots are pretty stingy normally on the ground. So there's just no upside for a guy like Devin Singletary.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless he finds the end zone,
he'd have to break off like a big play. And I don't know. I'm just not willing to gamble on that. And I'm a gambling man.
And you are a gambling man. Okay, we can move on to Andre Navarro's guy. We got David Montgomery.
Yeah. I don't know why that's killing me. But, man, it's a collection of things. One, the Saints are only giving up 3 yards per carry on runs outside the tackles, which is number 1 in the league. And Montgomery ranks 41 out of 51 on such runs. So he's not exactly spitting hot fire when it comes to outside runs. They actually don't really run good plays either. Like their play calling is doo-doo. Nagy needs to give it up. Whoever the hell, he needs some help. Especially with Robinson, if he doesn't play, he's doubtful. So I feel like they're also not going to have very many weapons. But what's crazy to me is over the last 5 games, David Montgomery hasn't surpassed 3.5 yards per carry or 60 rushing yards in the last 5 games. And 3.5 is like dog shit. Not even 4, but 3.5. So he's...
Yeah, I'm playing Le'Veon Bell over him, actually.
Yeah, and to get your average, he's actually averaging 3.26 yards per carry and only 1 rushing touchdown all year. And he only has 2 touchdowns all season. They have been giving him the ball more in the passing game, but he hasn't been able to really translate that into like good production. It's been able to make him be playable instead of like doo-doo. Like that's what's been keeping him alive. Like you would think that would put him over the top, but it's not. He's just not doing very good.
But it's not.
It's just not. And me and T are big on Kyler and Tyler like David Montgomery, but
I mean, I like him too. It's just last week was a hard matchup, and this week is also a hard matchup. Short week. I feel you, dude.
And like I said, they just don't do a good job of just like
they don't do a good job
of just playing to his strengths.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. They just suck.
Yeah.
Like I feel if Montgomery was on a different team, he would be better. But they
imagine
just don't
if he was like in Green Bay. There's no Aaron Jones or something.
Dude.
I like that.
Shit, even him on like the Falcons instead of Gurley, like let's just say he would be good there.
Yeah.
It's just
he's like yeah. I like that would be sweet.
But he's just
what a bummer.
I mean, he is what it like I said. I agree with everything Dre said. But he's just like a low end RB2 each and every week. He's gonna get the ton of volume right there. He's not gonna goose egg you. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna get you 20, 25 points. Probably not, but he's gonna get you like
Definitely
10 points. Probably.
Yeah, he'll get you the 10.
He'll get you the 10 points.
Especially in half-point PPR and standard. Fuck.
It's crazy. I saw this thing. Some guy was kind of saying, like, don't sleep on David Montgomery. It's just a bad offense. But it was like a picture of when he played at Iowa State. It was the caption was college football's Frankenstein. And it was like the vision of Saquon Barkley, like the body of Zeke and like the agility of Kamara. And it was like they were just hyping him up of all these attributes that he has. So I still think he's a super talented football player. I just think this offensive line is just terrible. So like you said, if he was on a different team, I think he could do a lot better. But
yeah, a lot of quarterback pressure last week as well.
Do you think at the bottom they put like size of whatever, and then they're like play calling of Adam Gase?
Probably.
just to fucking offset everything. Play calling of a 6-year-old who's never played Madden.
Yeah.
Boom.
Truly. Okay, we could go on to my sit here. I got 2 of them. And guess what? They're in the same fucking game. They're in the same game, baby. First one, I got J.K. Dobbins against Pittsburgh. I mean, dude, it's the goddamn Steelers, all right?
Rubbish, bro.
Listen, fucker. Them Pittsburgh Steelers gonna only fucker 13.4 points per game to running back. It's crazy, brother. Hey, that's a thing, brother.
It's a lot of spam, bro.
It's a lot of spam. No, but so Pittsburgh's only allowing 13.4 points per game to running backs. The Steelers are like, I think, second or third against the run. I mean, the Steelers' defense is just really good. I think that in order for Pittsburgh to win this game, they got to force Lamar to throw the ball. They're gonna have to pressure him to stay in the pocket. I think they got to stop the run game completely. I just can't. The main reason I added J.K. Dobbins in here specifically is because a lot of people were actually commenting on our previous videos, was asking, is it a good play to play J.K. Dobbins this week? And I would say no.
Is it J.K. for just kidding?
Just kidding. Dobbins is out. Don't play him. Yeah, so I'm just fading J.K. Dobbins this week. I think there's better options out there to play. I would play Le'Veon Bell over J.K. Dobbins. I would play things like that. Which can move on to my next guy here, and this is me hating on my own team. I'm fading James Conner. I think he could still end up in the running, getting in the end zone, but Benny Snell can snake him just as much. So, it could be a thing where Baltimore only allows one rushing touchdown, and it could somehow end up being like Benny Snell or even Anthony McFarland possibly. They're only allowing 13.6 points per game, which is actually only 0.2 points per game more than the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they've only allowed one rushing touchdown and one receiving touchdown to running backs.
It's pretty good, bro.
It's actually really good. So I really think that both these quarterbacks are going to be forced to throw the ball a lot. And, I think it's going to be a defensive game. And I'm just fading both these running backs. I think if you have James Conner, you might feel obligated to play him, and I understand that, and I think it still can work out if he finds an end zone. But if you look at those stats, though, it's scary.
Just a quick question: if J.K. Dobbins does do good, and like balls, is the job his after that? Because they did take him in the second round, and like they want him to do good. So do you think if he does, for whatever reason, do well, do you think that like he's starting to take that job?
No.
Or no?
No, I still think it'd be a throuple of running backs because Ingram's not going away anywhere. I think he's kind of
old,
earned his role and the respect to get some playing time. And for whatever reason, Gus Edwards keeps getting a ton of run.
I'd be more worried about.
That's also
him. I wasn't really worried about Ingram because he just looks, and then the ankle injury again, and he hasn't been good anyways. Yeah. And I feel like they're giving him love right now because he's like the vet. But
I mean, if you watch the Steelers. Titans game, Derrick Henry was pretty much stopped in the first three quarters. He broke off a run in the fourth quarter and ended up getting that touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. And if it wasn't for that, I mean, you would be pretty upset about Derrick Henry's performance last week. So
I was not impressed by your performance.
So J.K. Dobbins fade, James Conner fade.
Just a question.
Baby.
Just running it by you boys.
Yeah, no. I think I'm kind of with Tyler on that one. But that's just I also fuck the Ravens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you fuck the Ravens, dude.
Dude, I have sex with Ravens.
It's fine.
It's tight.
I hope so.
All right, we'll move on to wide receivers. We'll start with Tyler's guy. This is who he loves. Brandon Aiyuk. He's going with Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, I'll go with Brandon Aiyuk. He'd be a nice guy to try to trade for before this game happens if you could somehow pull that off. I know it's kind of right before the game start, but yeah, definitely try to go get Brandon if you can.
Zing.
But I wrote here on my notes, it says Seahawks defense.
That's pretty much it.
But yeah, the Seahawks have allowed the most receptions and the most receiving yards to wide receivers on the season. No Deebo Samuel.
By a lot. Too.
Yeah, by a lot.
They
got no Deebo Samuel, so that's just one less guy that he has to compete with targets. And with no Deebo Samuel, I'm expecting Brandon Aiyuk to be involved in all these end arounds. You heard Dre say it's like they're just doing all these end arounds. He does have 2 rushing touchdowns on the year, Brandon Aiyuk does, and they came off those end arounds. So with no Deebo Samuel, he should be getting some of those. And he's coming off his best game of his career, 6 receptions, 115 yards. Like I said, if you can go trade for him, trade for him. But he's actually available in a ton of leagues. He's available in 43% of ESPN, and he's available in 54% of NFL leagues. He was a guy that was probably one of our favorite waiver wire targets this week. Go get him. Go get him now. Even if you're like, oh, man, I'm stacked at receiver. I don't need a receiver. Go get him now. Like we always say, be a week early instead of a week late. Go get him. Throw him on your bench at least because he's gonna have a good game. I'll bet my dick on it. And then he's going to be the number 1 hot waiver wire pickup because he's going to be coming off potentially 200-plus yard receiving games, and he's going to be the number 1 waiver wire ad next week. So go grab him now if he's available.
Yeah, and he's already like a top 36 wide receiver, I think. He's up there already.
Yeah.
Beast. Hadouken!
All right, we'll go on to your next one. We got AJ Green. I did these kind of stacked up weird, but
Adriel Jeremiah.
It's your turn, baby.
Yeah, so kind of just, I'm piggybacking off of what Dre said and why he likes Joe Donkey. I'm piggybacking on that donkey.
To jump on that donkey.
But, yeah, Joe Burrow, he leads the NFL in pass attempts. And, AJ Green's been getting a ton of targets, 11 targets and 13 targets the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, he's put up some pretty solid numbers, 17 and 15 PPR points. So, yeah, I do like me some AJ Green. And then, like I said, Joe Burrow's thrown the ball a ton. And despite seeing 6 end zone targets, which is tied 5th most in the NFL, AJ Green has 0 receiving touchdowns. I'm playing against AJ Green against Dre in this league, but I'm a gambling man, as I said before. I'm willing to bet that AJ Green finds the end zone this week against the Tennessee Titans. They're not very good at defending wide receivers, and if Joe Donkey's going to be slanging that thing 40, 45 times, I'm going to bet that AJ Green is going to come up with some big plays on Sunday.
Helps out couch. Freaking
people were sleeping on him, and I was kind of reading something. I mean, like the guy didn't really play for a whole year. It's kind of like the Gronk situation. The guy didn't really play for a year. He was kind of held out of training camp for a while because he was kind of banged up with a hamstring injury or something like that. So he didn't really get that rapport from Joe Burrow built up before the season started. And then I feel like they were kind of just like force feeding him the football to try to get him going, but it was kind of like the Odell situation where, if you got to force it, it's shit. So don't force it. I feel like now they're really starting to get a rhythm. And, AJ Green's still one of the better receivers in the NFL. So, yeah, if you got him, dial him up. He's nice. You probably got him in the later rounds or maybe people dropped him and you picked him up off the waiver wire. So he's a good flex guy.
For sure.
Definitely start him. Okay, we'll go on to Andre's guy here. We got Rashard Higgins.
Oh, man, Hollywood Higgins.
It's funny. We had somebody ask some start sits, and they said Higgins, and we just assumed T. Higgins. But Rashard Higgins scored against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. I think he had a decent game.
16-man league or something.
Yeah, and he had a decent game last week, I think. If I might be wrong on that one, but, go for it.
All right, so I'm actually going to go back because I had him a couple years ago before Odell got there. So the reason that him and Baker have chemistry is that the whole training camp before Baker took over when it was Tyrod's show, it was him and Rashard Higgins. I guess it was just him. They would just light teams up in practice. Like, that was his guy. So when Rashard Higgins finally got to play end of 2018, weeks 16 and 17, he averaged 12.8 fantasy points, 10 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown. And then last year he didn't really play that much. Odell came. But now, since week 5, he is averaging 10.8 fantasy points per game. He has 10 catches on 11 targets. So him and Baker Mayfield have, some good chemistry with that. 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'll take 10.8 on a 3-week average, and that's when he was a number 3. Now with OBJ being out, he's going to obviously see an increased role. So I figured he's going to get his 7-8 targets. There's no Hooper there. You have Harrison Bryant, who we'll talk about later, but for a deep ad and someone who's going to see the field and get love, I like it. And you can see he's a baller, man. He's good. He's been behind 2 guys that are, I guess, gooder, but he's good. So that's why I like him.
Yeah, it's hard when you get, Odell comes there. It's like that, like you said.
And then they get all these tight ends and shit. But 11 targets, 10 catches for 150 and 2 tugs, I'll take it. So
I like it. Very good. We can move on to your other love for the week. We got Diontae Johnson. Gas him up.
God, dog, you ready?
Tell me.
Gonna play this week?
Yeah, he's cleared. He's good to play.
He played last week.
Yeah, he played last. Did he play last week? He balled.
Yeah.
So my favorite stat. My favorite stat.
Jim Jones last week.
Right, was before he got hurt, he was the only receiver through the first 2 weeks to see double-digit targets in both games. He was the only receiver. He's only played and finished in 3 games. And in those 3 games, he averages 12.6 targets a game. That's I would say that's borderline wide receiver 1 numbers. Big Ben loves him. He had 15 targets last game. In those 3 games, he's averaging 17.5 half-point PPR points a game. I think if he stays healthy, he can be a league winner based on where he was drafted. Because, people were all over Juju, but this dude's out here. And he can return kicks for him, too. They got what's that dude's name that's actually pretty good for them now, who does this thing?
Chase Claypool?
No. Ray McLeod. They got him returning kicks now, but Diontae Johnson can easily do that too, but it's his yak. I mean, you saw that second touchdown where he caught that slant, planted that foot, and literally just went the other direction. Like, he's just a playmaker. It's just health for him because he's had 2 or 3 games where he started and then left because of a concussion and one of a foot injury. So,
yeah, and I will say, I was a little bit worried, like what it's going to be when Diontae Johnson went out and Chase Claypool had that 4 touchdown game, and then he had a couple decent games. I was afraid when he came back that Chase Claypool would be more involved, but the target share just went right back to Diontae Johnson.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think you can feel confident playing Diontae Johnson in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to get 10 targets again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I agree.
So.
I like it. All right, we can move on to my start of the week. I got Travis Fulgham.
The third.
Travis.
Just kidding. I don't know.
Travis Fulgham. Junior. Hey, we looked up what's the difference between junior and
the second
and the third, or like second and the third.
What is it? Is it the middle name?
One of them is like you're named directly after your dad. The other one is if there's another one that's like more distant relative, like your grandpa or your uncle, but you guys have the same name.
It's weird. So you can't be the second junior.
So junior is if it's like your dad has the same name. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I don't know. Travis Fulgham plays. Look, I told you to play Carson Wentz. Travis Fulgham plays against the Cowboys. Say less. I got Cowboys aren't good on my notes here.
Good notes.
And then Travis Fulgham has double-digit targets in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's say less.
Dude,
I know Jalen Reagor's coming back, like you said, but I still think that they found a gem here, and I think they're going to use him. There's going to be a lot of points scored. I think the over/under is actually like 43 or something like that, which is weird. In that Cowboys game, I think it's pretty low. I could be wrong on that, but
because the Cowboys can't move the fucking ball.
Yeah, because they can't score themselves.
They're fucking anemic.
All right, yeah.
It's a good little stack right there, Carson Wentz and Fulgham.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Just kind of asking for a friend, but what do you feel about Greg Ward, the slot guy for the Eagles? He was kind of a sneaky start that I was thinking about last week. He finds the end zone. He got 5 for 42 and a touchdown. Greg Ward did. How do you feel about him this week in a matchup against the Cowboys?
I mean, they're playing the Cowboys. Anything can happen, Coach.
Anything can happen. I think you can still start him. I mean, if I'm willing to start Carson Wentz, then yeah. I mean, I think you can start him. Do you think Jalen Reagor coming back? Do you think that affects?
I mean,
it could help him because he stretches the field, which could leave the middle of the field open for a guy like Greg Ward.
Yeah, I mean,
plays in the slot.
Yeah, I mean, for a friend, like if you had like a Jamison Crowder or something, I guess maybe you can put him in.
Jamison Crowder's
for
doubtful,
a friend,
but I would like to play Jamison Crowder. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely interesting. There's a lot of like sneaky wide receiver plays this week.
Yeah.
And I think the sneakiest wide receiver play of this week would be my sneaky wide receiver play. I got
good segue right
Denzel Mims.
Davante Parker.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really like
it's the third fastest 40 time in this last draft. I mean, sign me up.
For real, bro.
There's no Perryman. There's no Jamison Crowder. I mean, it's doubtful, but it looks like it's not going to be Jamison Crowder this week. So Denzel Mims, I think, is going to come in. Last week, he actually had 7 targets with Jamison Crowder in. He only caught 4 of them, I think, for like 35 yards. But I think Denzel Mims gets double-digit targets this week. I think he gets over 10. I know it's not the best matchup playing the Kansas City Chiefs, but the game script is good. They're going to be down.
For sure.
You know what I mean? They're going to be throwing the ball. I think they're going to go out and see what they got with their draft pick in Denzel Mims. So, yeah. I'm starting them this week in a league. Sneaky. Because I mean, there's a lot of people in a spot. I'm in a spot I have players on bye, and then I have Allen Robinson that's now downgraded to being out. I got Jamison Crowder out. I'm gonna pinch, baby. Okay?
Go ahead, man.
So your boy's going Denzel Mims.
Do your thing,
Say
man.
less.
Do your thing.
Yeah, I know I was kind of joking around saying is that Devontae Parker. I feel like people are kind of forgetting who Denzel Mims is. He hasn't really played. He's been IR. I think he had one game, right? He's only played one game last week.
Yeah.
But I mean, just watching these highlights, he does kind of have like that Devontae Parker type of skill set where, he doesn't have to be open for him to make a play. He's really good, getting these contested 50-50 jump ball guys. And like you said, the guy's got some speed on him as well. So, I mean, yeah, in a game script where they're going to be behind a lot, I'm not mad at it at all.
And he knocks over coaches on the sideline, too.
He's like, watch out, coach.
He's like, fucking Denzel.
Watch out, coach. Here I come. We'll move on to the sits for this week. Tyler is going to start us out with Mike Evans. That's a ballsy one. But is it, though? Tell us why.
He has 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 6 touchdowns, which has been keeping him afloat. That's been like his fantasy
saving
life
grace.
jacket, if you would. But I mean, yeah, I guess he has the touchdown upside every single week. And he's the only good games he's really had is the games when there has been no Chris Godwin. Godwin's going to be out with he broke his finger, I think it was, right?
That dude has such bad luck this year.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of. We did the live stream, last minute lineup live stream a couple weeks ago, and Mike Evans was on there, and I just, I was kind of calling that I thought he was going to have a bad game, and he did. He's coming off back-to-back dud games where he's, not really put up anything. He's got 5 games under 50 receiving yards on the season so far. Like you said, he is touchdown dependent, and the reason why I don't like it here is because I'm expecting them to just kind of shellac the Giants, and maybe Brady doesn't have to throw the ball a ton. Yeah. Even when he does, Brady's not really forcing him the football. Brady's just going with the open guys. Scotty Miller, Gronk has been emerging. You got the rookie out of Minnesota, Tyler Johnson, who's been getting more run as well. And then you got these running backs out of the backfield, Fournette and Ronald Jones getting some receptions too. But Mike Evans is going to see a shadow from James Bradberry. Mike, I know you know who James Bradberry is because you bring him up a couple times on the podcast. But he's one of the better corners in the NFL, and he should shadow Mike Evans in this matchup. Hashtag interesting stat. In 7 games that Bradberry has shadowed Mike Evans, because Bradberry used to play for the Carolina Panthers, so he's shadowed Mike Evans 7 times in his NFL career. In those 7 games, Mike Evans has 1 receiving touchdown. So for a guy who's touchdown dependent, he's going up against a guy who 7 games has only given up 1 touchdown to him. That just doesn't seem like a good number right there. So it'd be hard to sit Mike Evans, but I'm just saying limit expectations. If he comes out and gives you a third dud game, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, we can go on to your next guy here, your fade, Jerry Jeudy for the Denver Broncos. You guys are just Bronco haters. You guys don't like the Broncos.
They're going to get shellacked, Cage.
Yeah, this isn't so much that I think Judy's not good. I mean, he's one of the best route runners in the NFL. He's super talented, but for whatever reason, he's just not getting targeted. He only has 2 receptions in 3 straight games. His targets have gone down since the beginning of the year. And then he's got a tough matchup against the Chargers cornerback Desmond King, who lines up in the slot a ton. Desmond King has only been targeted on 9% of the routes that he's covered. So a guy who's only getting me 2 catches. His targets are going down week in and week out, and now he's going to go up against one of the best slot corners in the NFL who only gets targeted 9% of the time when he's in coverage. These just aren't, good trends or good things for a positive game script for Jerry Jeudy. So, yeah, I just don't like the upside that Jerry Jeudy offers this week. But Jerry Jeudy is going to be a savage in this league for a long time.
I'm just watching his footwork. It's
stupid.
Dude, it's fucking stupid.
I was watching some it was just showing his footwork and his route running ability. The routes that he's running, it was on Instagram. He was running these routes, and he has the DBs like doing circles and turning around and falling, but he's not getting targeted. For whatever reason, he's just not getting targeted. I don't know what it is. Maybe Drew Lock's been banged up. He's a rookie, so they're still trying to build the rapport and the chemistry. But yeah, so I'll be fading Jeudy this week.
If Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen to me is my how I fuck with him. That's what he reminds me of. But he might be better than him, which is crazy. Like, oh my God, I saw this video where this dude was trying to press him at the line. He literally couldn't even touch him. His release off the press was fucking stupid. The DB was like left stuck to the ground, and Jerry Jeudy was like 10 yards past him already, and he scored a touchdown. But
yeah, he's good. Just like I said, matchup's bad, and he's not trending in the right direction in terms of getting targets and getting the football. So
yeah, they're not playing Arkansas.
No upside.
This week.
The upside's not really there unless he catches a touchdown.
Right. Not playing Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Whoa, chill.
Yeah.
Dude.
So this is.
Speaking of him, is this
this
Denzel
is-
Mims or
this
is this
is-
Davante Parker?
Hey, this is Dre's fade for this week. He's got Davante Parker.
I mean, it's really he's not. I don't want to say he's fully healthy because he's definitely not.
Yeah, he's dealing with a groin injury that's kind of limited him, but he's gonna play.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to get the Ramsey treatment. Tua's first game. I want to take a wait and see approach with their offense with Tua in. I want to see, I just want to see him play. So I'd rather not. And he's getting the Ramsey treatment. And on top of that, 5 catches, 85 yards over his last 2 games. Yeah, he's a little banged up. That's still not that good.
Who did Davante Parker rape last year?
The defensive player of the year.
Okay.
Stephon Gilmore.
He said,
I know his numbers are down.
Just the way he asked.
I'm like, I got to defend my boy. All right, I'm a Dolphins fan. I know his numbers. They said the last 2 games have been good, but the last 2 games they blew out the Jets and then they shellacked your 49ers.
Shellacked him.
So there's no need for them to throw the football that much.
Why is he going to come at me? He said,
So
"Your
I think that's
49ers."
why his numbers were down. I do agree. We don't know how Tua is going to spread the ball around. Does he lean more towards Preston Williams? Does he lean towards Gesicki? Does he, we don't know. We don't know who he's going to lean towards. Obviously, we knew what Fitzmagic. He was a gunslinger. He's willing to just
Throw it to the other team if he
chuck
has
it
to.
up to Devontae Parker and let him go up and get these 50-50 contested footballs. It does hurt him that he's dealing with a groin injury, so it does suck that he's getting Ramsey. There is the unknown question with Tua, who is he going to target more? Who is he going to lean on? And then, the groin injury as well. Could he potentially aggravate that and leave the game? He did that in week 1 with the hamstring. He aggravated it mid-game and he had to leave. So just a lot of, like you said, kind of like the Jeudy thing. Not a lot of things that are trending in the right direction, but I'm never going to sleep on my guy. If he can go out there and get it done against Stephon Gilmore, I think he can get it done against any corner in this league. Yeah. But I agree with you. Just a lot of question marks.
Yeah,
and
just too many variables that I don't like. But it's okay.
Pero okay.
And that's it.
We'll move on to your next guy here. We got Robert Woods.
Oh, Bobby Trees. This is quick too. Kind of the same thing. He just hasn't been really good the last 2 games. He got a touchdown last week, but he has 7 catches for 51 yards over this past 2 games. He has 6 carries, so they're trying to get him the rock, coach. I wrote that down, which is true because he does have 6 carries over the last 2 games. But for T-Rev's Dolphins, he's probably going to get followed by Xavier Howard. And according to Pro Football Focus, he is the 9th best corner in the NFL overall. And he just played the Bears defense, so he's not really getting great matchups anyway. And he's kind of been hurt too. He was like on the injury report last week. He ended up playing, didn't do very well. So same thing, I think he's going to get locked up. I think this might be more of a Cooper Kupp because they can kind of move him around, or maybe they're going to do the whole 2-headed monster, hopefully 3 with Akers, but they won't because they're a fucking bunch of hoes. But, yep, that is why.
Very good.
Don't get the shadow.
You're talking about Tyler's corners over there, so, hyping them up.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, if you're not hyped on Goff, then it's kind of hard to be hyped on these pass catchers for the Rams.
Yep.
I mean, obviously they have the ability, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, to find the end zone, but it's just a tough matchup for them for sure on the road.
I mean, Josh Reynolds has back-to-back touchdown games. It looks like Goff likes him, so maybe it's another touchdown for him while the other 2 corners are busy with their 2 main guys. So maybe tight ends are just no Bobby Trees. I'll take some trees, just not Bobby Trees.
All right. Okay, we got my sit here. I got Darius Slayton against the Buccaneers. They're the 8th best against wide receiver for fantasy points allowed. They're 8th best. They're averaging 20 points per game to wide receivers. In fantasy, it seems like 20 points, but it's not going to one receiver. That's spread out through everybody. And I think it's going to be less than that. He's going up against Carlton Davis, who's been a pretty decent corner so far this year. I'm just fading Darius Slayton. I don't trust Danny Dimes. It's just not what I like when I see these guys.
I think Carlton Davis is the number 1 corner on Pro Football Focus right now.
So that's going to have
the
me
corner for the Bucs.
That's going to have me fade Darius Slayton this week. Probably all Giants receivers, to be honest.
Facts.
Okay, then we can move on to my next one here. We got Tre'Quan Smith. I know it's like you might be thinking Michael Thomas is out again. Manny Sanders still out?
Yes.
Yeah, Manny Sanders.
COVID. He has COVID.
Manny Sanders have COVID. So
19.
that being said, you might be like, "Oh, I'm gonna sneak and play Tre'Quan Smith, be sneakily." I'm gonna tell you, don't do that. Sorry, hold on. Like I said, there's 20-mile-per-hour winds. The Bears are 4th best against wide receiver when it comes to fantasy points. I don't have the number. I think it's they only allow, I think, 16 points per game to wide receivers. So yeah, that's not very nice. I think they can just totally cover Tre'Quan. I'm not looking forward to it for this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, say less, bro.
Okay, then we can move on to our tight ends.
Yeah.
We'll go on to our first tight end start. We got Tyler's.
Weird.
Tyler's guy. Weird. Mike Gesicki. Weird.
Yeah, we sure talked a lot about a bunch of Dolphins.
Weird. A lot of Dolphins.
I went homer pick. It's crazy. In one of my leagues, you guys are going to think it's funny. In one of my leagues, I have Stafford, and I have no other quarterback. So I picked up Tua. And so I'm going to play Tua over Stafford. I have Gaskin, and then I have Gesicki. And I also have the Dolphins defense, but I think I'm going to drop them. I can't start all.
He's going to drop.
I'm all in on the Dolphins this week in one league. So
he's going to drop Dolphins D and pick up Preston Williams.
But yeah, I do like Gesicki. Now I know he was dead to me when he got you the 0. He put up a goose egg. He got you the 0
Yeah,
burger.
you looked like you were gonna like figure out where he lived and show up at his house and fucking.
It's just frustrating because if I would have told you, hey, there's two tight ends on the Dolphins got a touchdown, you'd be like, oh well, Gesicki got at least one of those, right? But no, it was Adam Shaheen and David Smith or whatever his name is. I don't know. They're running these like dumb little gadget plays where they run play action and the blocking tight end that nobody's covering sneaks out, and obviously they were both wide open because nobody's looking to cover those guys when you have Gesicki on the field, but.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I was listening to something. I read something that I get it. Those other guys ran routes and they got the touchdowns, but Gesicki ran like 50 routes compared to those guys only ran like 14 routes combined or something stupid like that. So Gesicki's still the main receiving option there for the Dolphins. Like Dre said, Davante Parker should see Jalen Ramsey. He's kind of banged up, so if that limits his upside, you got to be able to move the ball somehow. So I do like Mike Gesicki in this matchup. The Rams, they've allowed the 5th most receiving yards to tight ends, and they've allowed they've allowed the 5th most receptions to tight ends and the 8th most receiving yards to tight ends. Gesicki, he lines up in the slot. Like I said, he's more of like an oversized wide receiver. This is good for Tua because Tua actually led college football last year. He had the highest passer rating in college football when he was targeting his slot receiver or slot player. So that's good for him right there. This is the 2nd best tight end matchup on Pro Football Focus, so I like that as well. And then I was looking at a tweet. It was one of the beat writers for the Miami Dolphins. Some guy was asking him, like, well, how do you think Tua is going to do? What do you expect? And he said, I'm expecting a lot of RPO play action plays and a lot of passes inside the numbers for Tua. That's where he really excelled. And Tua's ability to find the window in the middle of the field. If there's a player who's going to be in the middle of the field a lot, like I said, Gesicki lining up in the slot 76% of the time. So I'm going to bank on Gesicki having a good game and Tua kind of really relying on him. And then also, Gesicki was part of the scout team when they were doing the training camp and stuff like that. So Gesicki wasn't really out there. He was working with Fitz, but he was whenever Tua was out there with the scout team, Gesicki was the receiver that was out there or the tight end that was out there for Tua. So they have like that chemistry throughout training camp. So yeah, I'd like me some Gesicki this week. I'll drink the Kool-Aid one more time.
You know, it's smart because, I mean, those RPOs are made for the linebackers to come up a little bit, and all just like he has to do is run right behind him on like a little skinny post, and he's
Gesicki's
he's faster than safeties as it is, so he's not.
He doesn't have to be open to be open.
Yeah. Shafo. Yeah.
Put him in. Put him in, coach. Why don't you put in this guy here, huh?
Man, one of my
Harrison Bryant for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Dre's saying start him.
Yeah, favorite tight end coming into the draft. If I didn't have a plethora of tight ends, I would have drafted him. The funny stat that I always told people was he won the award for best tight end in the country, and his tight end coach was a science teacher for the school. So, like, he literally didn't even have proper coaching, and he was actually an O-lineman that lost weight and went to tight end. So he's going to be good blocking and shit like that. He's already good in the trenches, and then he's just lost the weight because he's athletic as a bitch. I mean, this is more of he's a beneficiary of injuries with the whole Austin Hooper thing, which is how he got his 20-point game last week. Now you have no OBJ. Jarvis Landry's kind of banged up. But, I mean, he played 77% of snaps, which was a career high, and he obviously turned that into 4 for 56 and 2 touchdowns. But, I mean, it looked like, Baker just felt comfortable, finding him and getting him the ball, and he seems like a reliable, pass catcher. He's pretty athletic, so I feel like he's getting more and more integrated into the offense, and he's a starter. Njoku, I think they said he banged something. He's going to play, but he's going to be the starter. So I can see him getting, a healthy 75 to 80% snap percentage again and getting you another touchdown. I don't know if he gets 2, but I can see him getting you 5 for 60 and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's outperformed Njoku the last 2 games. So
I'll take it.
He's listed as the starting tight end on the depth chart.
Even 5 for 60 at tight end. I mean, that's still 8.5 points. Yeah, 11 in full points. So I mean, I think his floor is safe enough to where you won't be like, oh, Harrison Bryant got me, nothing. He got me like 1 or 2. I feel like he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right.
That's it.
We'll move on to my start here. I got Jonnu Smith. I know this might not be like the craziest. Oh, holy shit, I'm going to start that guy? Yeah, you've probably been starting him, but this is more of like a reassurance as to feel confident in starting Jonnu Smith. So Jonnu Smith has like one of the highest target shares like to the tight end. Like when you look at the teams and how much they target their tight end position, it's like I think it's 34%. Yeah, 34%, which is like the third highest against out of all the teams. And then they play the Bengals, who are second worst to tight ends when it comes to fantasy points given up to tight end position. So that being said, I'm confident Jonnu Smith's going to go out there, have another 2-touchdown game. He's going to win you your league. Start him.
Feel it.
Savage.
All right, we'll move on to our tight end sits. We got Tyler's first. We got Tyler Higbee. You love hating on this guy.
Yeah, I brought him up. I know, he might not even play because he's dealing with a hand injury. Yeah, I think he's had limited practice the last couple days, so he's questionable. So he might not even play, which would make it easier. But even if he does play, he's not in my lineup. I mean, this is one of the guys where I just thought he was like the biggest bust, or like the bar was set so high for him coming into the season. I mean, he ended last year with 4 or 5 100-yard receiving games, and I just thought it was kind of a fluke. I didn't expect it to carry over into the season. And it hasn't. I mean, he hasn't topped 60 yards once in 6 games on the season. I mean, outside of that 3-touchdown game in week 2, he has yet to find the end zone in any of the other 5 games. So, yeah, I just don't like Tyler Higbee. I like his first name. I just don't like his real game on the field.
He's got he said dope first name.
All right, we'll move on to Andre's dude here. We got
Kyler Higbee.
Kyler is talking about not playing Eric Ebron.
Yeah,
Eric Ebron.
It's like I got the guy. It's the Ravens D for me, I guess. I just don't feel like it's going to be Big Ben slinging it to the receivers. Ebron is coming off season high in targets. He almost scored, but I don't know. I don't see him popping off. I mean, there's worse options, but there's definitely better ones. I would rather have Harrison Bryant play than Eric Ebron. That's just me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you play Higbee or Eric Ebron?
Well, I mean, if Higbee's healthy, I might go Higbee over Eric Ebron.
Really? That's disrespectful.
Sorry?
Disrespectful, dude.
I like the guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Doesn't seem like it.
But it's just now if we're talking about Eric Ebron on the Colts, he's going to get a 50-11 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it, dude. Just hating, bro.
Yeah, I guess I'm just hating that.
No, it's okay.
I just don't see it.
I got you. I feel it. It's hard to, they have Vance McDonald and Eric Ebron. It's not like Eric Ebron's out there on every down. So, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, he is coming off a season high in targets, but I'm not big on
next week, right?
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Next week when they play the Cowboys.
For sure.
Yeah, I like that.
And then they play Cincinnati, and then they play Jacksonville. Bro, that's when he's going to start popping off.
By the way, if we can beat Baltimore this week, I think we can go 16-0.
Hey, can you get to 7?
Game and then he's like, we can win 10 more in a row.
Can you get to 7-0?
No, because
first?
bro, look at our schedule. It's insane. We play like 3 more NFC East
Bro,
teams.
all right, just shut up. Are you stupid?
No, I'm
you
not.
fucking high right now?
I'm fucking smart.
I don't think we did.
just
We hang
kidding.
out.
Yeah,
Did
that
we
was-
hang out
that was
together
me.
at my house?
That's just
before
how you
that?
talk to me when I say silly things.
No, because here's the thing: is we're playing Baltimore in Baltimore. It's our hardest game the rest of the season. If we can beat them in Baltimore, we're gonna win at Heinz Field. There's no fucking way.
I mean, there is a way.
No,
Okay, all right.
you're probably right. Yeah, they've beat us there before.
saying.
I'm just saying. You know,
He's
it's
like,
possible.
he goes, if we win this game, hello 16-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, fuck 7-0 or 8 or fuck 8-0,
No,
16-0.
7-0. We're only 6-0.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you get to
Yeah.
7, fuck 8, it's going right to 16.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Come on, lad daddy.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly. I don't understand what the miscommunication is here.
Honestly, there isn't, Boston Scott.
We'll go on to my sit for the week. I have Robert Tonyan, but this is more just every
It's Tunyon.
Tonyan.
Like
Robert.
like a Funyun, but with a T. I guess he was getting mad.
Really?
Everyone was calling him Robert Tunyon, and he's like, it's not Tunyon.
It's Tanyan.
That's what I said.
It's Tunyon.
Tunyan, dude.
It's not
same thing.
Ton.
Here's the thing,
Ton.
dude. You have one game with 3 fucking touchdowns, and you get a big head. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I mean, he's a big bastard.
Everybody
though.
calls me Marciano, and they're like, "Is that right?" And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know.
This is what happens.
Not really,
hey, once
but-
the podcast blows up, I can be like, it's fucking Marcanio.
No, but here's the thing: is I'm never gonna
It's
be
not
that guy.
Tyrod, it's Tyrod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor still he gets called Tyrod all the time. You have one good game. Come on, chill out, dude. I think it's just very obnoxious to be like, say my name right. Don't play him. All right, just on that. Don't
yeah, I
play him.
Just I don't like him as a guy's guy.
They do play Minnesota. You might be thinking they're gonna blow out the Vikings, which I think that they should win this game. But the Vikings are actually they've only allowed 2 touchdowns to tight end on the year. Out of all the points that have been scored against the Vikings, did I say Titans?
Yeah.
All the points that have been scored against the Vikings, only 2 of them, 2 touchdowns were by tight ends. Green Bay, that you saw like Jay Sternberger come in last week and do some stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna fade all the Green Bay tight ends. Watch them all score.
I like it.
All
It's
right.
the Devontae Adams show over there. They're talking about trading for Will Fuller. That would be
Fucking
pretty mucho
dude.
good if they could do that.
That'd be hot like Hansel. They're
Yeah.
probably trying to figure out what's up with all of his injuries.
I hope they don't do that, but for fantasy, because in
I
another
think
league,
that would be sick if they did that.
well, I already have Devontae Adams. I don't know if and I just traded Cooks to
Well, I'm
get
pretty
rid
sure
of.
the Green Bay Packers aren't worried about your fantasy team.
I know,
either.
but I'm worried about my fantasy.
Let's
Trust
do it
me.
straight. Whoa. That guy, Kyler from the AVG, has him. And I don't know if we can
Well,
trade him.
I already
we
sent a
can't have him
message.
have both Devontae Adams and Will Fuller on his fantasy team at the same time.
So you get it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I sent the Green Bay Packers a message on Instagram. I was like,
with-
listen, don't fuck this up for me.
I'm with Dre on this one, dude.
Dude, just go get AJ Green instead.
Well,
Yeah,
because
don't
you
do
go Devontae
that.
Adams too and Will Fuller on the same team?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You guys are both idiots.
It's
You can start both of them.
you
Aaron
could.
Rodgers is slinging that thing. You don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out with Will Fuller? And
it's
Yeah,
true.
but then
Dominate?
you run into positions like I did this week. I have Robbie Anderson and I have DJ Moore, and they both fucking didn't do that great.
Well, here's the
this
thing.
year.
They have Teddy Bridgewater throwing them the football.
And they
They
don't
would
have
have
Devontae
Aaron
Adams.
Rodgers having
No,
it.
they had fucking
Football.
XFL superstar throwing them the ball.
Oh,
That's
my
what
man,
happened.
PJ Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
PJ, not good. Actually, he actually wasn't that bad. All right. This has been the AVG Fantasy
good.
Football Podcast, episode 66 of season 3. Thanks for listening. If this helped you at all in your fantasy leagues,
Thank us later.
tell a friend, tell a close friend. This is the most frustrating thing about having this podcast is like some people will literally tell me, dude, I love all the information you give me, but I don't want anybody else to know, so I keep it a secret. And that's really fucked up because that doesn't help our growth. So, maybe you have that good friend in your league, or, that confidant. Maybe you can let them know that
Hey, bro.
we help you out. Okay.
Yeah, let them know.
But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app. If you're already subscribed on the podcast app, unsubscribe, then resubscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can message us there if you have any questions. If you have any last-minute start-sit questions, we'll be doing a live stream on Sunday, November 1st, after Halloween. We'll do the live stream. What?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, yeah. November 1st, Tuesday. 2020. All right. But yeah, so we'll be doing a live stream an hour before the games start. And you can ask us questions on there. That's all I got, man. Anything you guys want to say?
I'm just hyped to see.
Yeah, I feel you, dude.
I'm all in on the Dolphins, dog.
Should be good.
I think people are sleeping on Tua and they forget. I'm homer pick.
By the way,
I'm homer pick. I'm super hyped, but I feel like people are forgetting how good Tua is, and he was gonna be the number 1 overall pick prior to the hip injury. Before tanking for Trevor, it was tanking for Tua.
I think you watched that documentary 2 more times.
And yeah, I did watch the documentary on it, and it did get me hyped up. But yeah,
that's okay.
I'm just pretty hyped
for
Tua. I'm rooting. Obviously, he's on my favorite football team too, but I'm just rooting for that guy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he can come through and get it done. But
I feel you, dude. I think I did a parlay, underdog money line parlay, 3-teamer.
Who do you got?
I got the Dolphins.
I like it.
I think the Dolphins could beat the Rams in Miami. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like it.
Do you like it? You're
Yeah.
just saying that. Hold on, I can't remember the last one, but it's good. It's so good I forgot.
That's pretty good.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
No. It's right here. And I got the Raiders against the Browns.
I do like it. I think the Raiders do beat the Browns.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the over.
Listen, Baker Mayfield, not good.
Yeah. So.
Cleveland Browns, not good.
All right then, Coach. Freaking, we'll see it then.
And that being said, us big boys.
Tyler.
Around.